The Marconi Bologna Podcast.
Yay, podcast time. All right, well, when this podcast was actually recorded, Don Sterling's fate had not been decided yet, or we didn't know that it had been decided. So, and then they had the press conference today telling us that Don Sterling will be banned from all NBA everything and fined $2.5 million. So that came down, and I mean, that's what should have happened. I mean, it's too bad because now he'll sell the team and make like $800 million or something. And it looks like P. Diddy, which is trending right now, P. Diddy wants to buy the Clippers. He's throwing his hat into the proverbial ring. So I'm assuming if anybody makes the guy a deal, he's not going to not take it. I mean, it'd be ridiculous not to. But well, he doesn't seem like he's all there. The issue still lies is like why his girlfriend was making all this audio public, but nonetheless, I mean, he said these racist things, and it's bad. So he'll be banned from the NBA, and we'll all move on with our lives. And I'm guessing he'll probably die soon. I mean, he's 80-something, right? Well, thanks for checking out today's podcast. A lot of stuff, and I try to beat my record for squats. My record so far is 44 squats in a minute. You'll have to listen to find out that glorious record-breaking possibility. That's all in today's episode. And don't forget to check out my merch page. Just click the link at marconibologna.com to find beautiful Marconi Bologna t-shirts for a limited time. I think I'm going to make them just for 1 month, and then I have a whole new batch of ideas coming. So, yeah. So I hope you'll check out my merch page and enjoy today's podcast. Thank you for listening.
His name is Marconi, and this is the Bologna Podcast.
Well, Don Sterling is being probed by all the wrong people. He doesn't really, I don't know if he wants any of it. That guy creeps me out, by the way. His voice, his demeanor on those tapes. And if you've been hiding under a rock, they say that a lot, don't they? When somebody doesn't know what's going on in the world. You know, I actually sometimes envy people who don't know what's going on in the world because they have to deal with all this crap. From Michael Jordan to LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, President Obama. They've all said this guy is an idiot, basically, and they should take him out of the NBA. And I guess by Tuesday is what they're so today they're supposed to make a decision. So we'll know eventually, and maybe even as I'm shutting this microphone off, they're making a decision or whatever. So who knows? But Don Sterling deserves to go down. His team doesn't like him. He said racist comments, and he's a dummy. And a lot of these people are doing these things, and a lot of them are finding that they're remorseful of it. Like Chick-fil-A. They were anti-gay marriage, same-sex marriage or whatever. And suddenly now they're seeing their sales hit a dip, and they don't really like that. They're not happy with that. I've never eaten at Chick-fil-A, and why start now? But, I don't begrudge anybody eating at a place like that. But the many places, and like Barella Pasta out of Italy, they said they're not for gay marriage. And suddenly I'm like, well, now I don't eat that pasta. Now what do I have to do? So I think if you're a company, just shut your mouth. If you're Don Sterling, you could have gone on and kept collecting all the money and making dough off of a team. But you're too dumb. You had to say these things. And the other thing is like maybe his girlfriend was backed into a corner. Maybe something went on, and I don't know what happened. But in your private life, you should not have to worry about people, regardless of what you're saying at home. I mean, Don Sterling is clearly a jerk-off. But his girlfriend, why is she releasing tapes to the public? Has anybody even thought of that? Like, who wants to be with somebody that eventually you're going to have to worry about if they're going to blab to the media? I mean, why does TMZ have that, you know? Like, how did they get that? Because, not because they illegally got wiretapped. No, she turned over these tapes. I mean, obviously, he's an awful person, yes, and she was upset. But this just goes to prove you can't trust anyone, you know? I mean, regardless of Don Sterling's an idiot. I mean, he shouldn't feel this way, and the way he feels is it's dumb. He's so, like, Cro-Magnon that it's just incredible. But the fact that his girlfriend, she's like in her 20s, is sending these audio pieces to TMZ. That's kind of shady. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, no matter how bad things get, I mean, what is she doing to protect herself? I don't understand. Like, maybe she had a plan all along to bring him down. I don't know. But either way, I'm guessing that by the time you wake up and hear this, Don Sterling has probably been demoted from the NBA. See you later, jackass.
Follow Marconi on Twitter at Marconi Bologna. Get lost in his K-hole.
Cuddle chemical released during breastfeeding helps babies develop social skills and could be used to treat autism. Yeah, I think, and I'm pretty sure of this, I don't think my mom breastfed me. I think I had the formulas. I could be wrong. I'll ask. I'm going to go see my mom on Sunday, so I'll ask her then. I'll get to the bottom of this. Why am I so weird? What's wrong with me? The cuddle chemical is a hormone called oxytocin, which sounds not good, but it's produced by women during pregnancy, birth, and breastfeeding. Researchers tested the impact of the inhaled oxytocin on baby monkeys, which is always, I don't know why, that makes me kind of giggle inside. Like, it was tested on monkeys, so it must work the same exact way on humans. They found monkeys were given oxytocin were more likely to mimic the facial gestures of other monkeys and their human keepers. I guess that means that they would just be sheep. I don't know. It doesn't really. The chemical could be used to treat developmental disorders such as autism, which is great. If they can figure out a way to help autistic people and children and stuff like that, you know, great. But, I mean, obviously, breastfeeding is probably the best and should be the number one way to feed a child. And there's many health benefits to it. It's nature. So there you go. My sister does it. I know. I don't know if my mom. I have to ask my mom. I'm pretty sure she didn't, though. But back when in my day, I don't think that was a big. My mom wasn't a hippie, so unless you were a hippie, you didn't know some of these things. So I don't know. I'm weird, so there's got to be a reason for it, right? I've got to get to the bottom of this.
Marconi Bologna.
The FCC reportedly wants companies like Netflix to pay more to get faster streams, which would probably mean that we'll have to pay more. This is all part of that net neutrality thing. And I don't really mind paying too much more, but if you get too expensive, then I might as well just get cable, which turns around the clock again, because the whole reason I've got Netflix and streaming and Hulu and that kind of thing is because I cut off the cable and now I watch Netflix. And 99% of Netflix movies, by the way, are movies that you don't really want. So it's a few and far between that you find a good movie, or when one finally becomes free, it could be like 2 or 3 years later. It's kind of, I don't know. It could be worse, right? I look back at think about like the only time you could look on your screen of a TV and order a movie film, was like in a hotel room when you're on vacation, right? You're sitting there. Maybe you went to Las Vegas and hung out with some friends and you can't go to sleep, but you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll watch a movie. Now, I realize what I'm saying may sound weird because what you probably ordered by yourself would be different than, say, if you were there with your girlfriend or wife or something like that. Or maybe not. I don't know you. But what I'm saying is it used to be like the magic thing where you could go in and there'd be new movies available on your screen at home. I mean, in your hotel room. And then you go home and you go, gosh, that'd be cool if you could have that. And now you do. You've got Apple TV, you've got Roku, you've got Netflix, Hulu, all these different things from the internet that are magical and beautiful. And so paying a little more, I think, what is it, $7.99 now? I don't know why. It still stings a little bit to pay that $7.99, but I don't have cable anymore. So $7.99 plus... I think I pay in entertainment. I figured this out because I have Sirius XM, which includes Howard Stern, and I don't have a radio. I just listen online and on my phone. So that costs a certain amount. I think that's like $25 a month. All right. It's worth it, though. I enjoy it. And then Hulu is what? I can't remember. $8 a month. And so is Netflix. And I used to have Spotify, but I realized I didn't watch that. I listened to that enough. So the free one is fine. So I figure I've got like not a lot of money wrapped up into this. It's like $40 or something. And that's not bad, right? Plus what I pay for the streaming here online. These are like things that I use as entertainment. So this podcast I consider... But it pays for itself because we have sponsors and stuff. So I think that's the whole thing with the cutting the cable. Sure, like sometimes there are times when I'm like, gosh, I wish I just had ESPN so I could watch the game. But that's very few and far between. I remember having cable and paying so much money, and I'm like, why? I go home and I fall asleep. Now I come home, I have Chromecast on my TV, which was $35, and I watch a couple of YouTube videos, and I'm like, I'm out. So, and YouTube's free, so what are you going to do? There you go. But Netflix has a lot. I mean, I like Orange is the New Black. I like watching, all of Mad Men on Netflix. Pretty much, it's fun. That kind of stuff. But I wish that, so what I wish for the future is like I know Amazon just made a deal with like The Sopranos on HBO and different shows like that. I just want Netflix to get better because it's a cool service. I just want it more gooder. Be more gooder.
Marconi Baloney.
Apparently, many sponsors of the LA Clippers are pulling their ads now that Don Sterling has made his racist remarks. Sponsors including Red Bull, CarMax, Kia, Virgin America, many other businesses. Who can blame them? I'd be out of there too. This guy. The offensive things, the racist thing is pretty offensive, but he's like an 80-year-old dude who uses like Grecian formula to make his hair brown, like an odd shade of brown. And you'd think you could have somebody do that better. It looks like he does it himself. Yeah, I mean, this guy's got all kinds of problems. He's a fat ass. He looks unhappy. That's what I don't get. Here's the thing about money. You work so hard to get the money that you're unhappy. And you feel like you always got to be an old codger bastard. Now, what fun is it to have that money? Like, I don't get it. Like, what's the point? Going through your whole life. He doesn't look like a happy guy. I don't know him. All I know is what I see on these tapes. I never heard of the guy before this. I really haven't. I don't follow the LA Clippers. I mean, I've thought this, that so many people are so into the LA Lakers and the LA Dodgers that I would conform and be, a fan of the Clippers and the Angels, just to kind of offset I think a lot of people do that. But now this guy, he's got to be done, right? I mean, when you start losing money for the franchise, you're getting in the way. I mean, he's got to know that regardless. Just as a part of a businessman, he's got to know he's now getting in the way of his own company. So I'm sure if the NBA decides, I mean, they've got to decide that he's done, right? That's vercoculous. Either way, good for these companies. The thing I find hard is because they're in the playoffs, the team. And if you're on the team, you've been trying for this forever, and this is a Clippers team, and they're all about like, hey, we want to win. But now here's what happens. Regardless of why you're there to win, and you've gotten your shot personally as a player, as an NBA player, you might go into the championships. You're in round one. If you win, you're winning for this guy because whether you like it or not, he gets a lot of the residuals of that, the money, all kinds of benefits to it. So at some point, does it cross your mind as a player that you just got to get the hell out of there? See ya. What are they going to do without a team? Like, I guess your career could be screwed because you've got contracts and stuff. But I think at this point, like you could say, hey, look, I can't play for this guy, and stand up for yourself. But I know it doesn't work that way with millionaires and contracts and stuff like that. So it's not as easy as it probably seems to the layman. But this guy's got to go.
Marconi, the Bologna Podcast.
Yesterday, I did 44 squats in a minute, and I would like to break that record. My goal is to get to 60. Who knows what it'll take to get there? But I think I can break 44 now that I know that that's what I got yesterday. You know, it's like anything you makes something, and then it's easy to break it once you've made it the one time. So I can at least get over that, right, today? So I'm going to try. I'm going to move the chair out of the way again. Get back here. I hope you guys are playing along at home. And I hope some of you have decided that maybe you'll do squats with me. Now I'm going to set my alarm here on my iPhone for exactly 1 minute, and I'm going to go. So are you ready? Here we go. I'm going to try to do more than 44 squats right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. I did 55. I did 55. That's 10 more than I did the last one. 55. Oh my gosh. I'm 5 away from meeting my goal, which is 1 squat per second. Are you playing along? Are you doing it? Because are you just laughing at me? I want to know how you guys are doing. 55. Let's get your heart rate going, man. Oh, woo! Wow. Okay, so 55 is now my record for 1 minute of squats. How many can you do? We'll do it again tomorrow and find out if I can beat 55.
Follow the Bologna blog on Tumblr at marconibologna.com. Enjoy the magic.
Hey, here's the things that were trending when I was researching for today's program. NyQuil, Netflix, and Waffle House. So I will spend a little bit of time on each. All right, NyQuil. NyQuil is a glorious, glorious thing because it's helped many people for many years. It medicates, makes you feel a little better. When you have the flu or you don't feel so good, you can take a little NyQuil, and for a few hours you feel kind of okay. You're not quite overly medicine-y, and it may not taste delicious, but the effects are beautiful. So yay, NyQuil, yay! Netflix, I love you, and I also hate you. Because like when you flip around, you're surfing the channels, it's kind of the same thing with Netflix. You will look at Netflix for 30 minutes or so before you find the right movie. And then you'll watch a crap movie because you have nothing left that you haven't seen. And you'll just watch something that's just dumb and awful for longer than you probably should before you shut it off. But it's only a few bucks a month, and it streams to my TV, so what am I complaining about? The Waffle House. You know what? I love the Waffle House in spirit. I haven't been there in years. I lived in Oklahoma for a while, and I went there a few times. But I do remember they use like the cheese slices, like the Kraft singles for everything, which is not necessarily bad because here's what I think. These people are so self-righteous and telling you, oh, everything's got to be organic and that's not good for you and blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't disagree. But these places aren't meant to be health houses to make great food. The problem is Americans decided that they're going to eat fast food 24/7, and they ruined it for the rest of the world. Now, the fast food places aren't like, hey, don't come here 24/7. And I get that. That's business. But it's a choice that you have to make. And I say, I don't go to a fast food place to eat healthily. And the Waffle House, you serve your processed American cheese food, whatever that is. I don't care. It's delicious, and I don't want it to go away. And the things that happen with it, like they did that to a bunch of different fast food places where, like, you have to have a balanced, healthy option for everyone. And no, you don't. You shouldn't. It's not the restaurant's responsibility to make things healthy. The restaurant's only responsibility is to keep the food clean and make it be edible. That's it. You don't have to, to make sure there aren't any like rat feces in the food or something, Keep your facility clean. And if you want to make a burger that has a lot of calories in it, and then just make it. And the people that can't stop eating it, it's not the restaurant's fault for making it so delicious that you crave for it daily and nightly. It's not Colonel Sanders' fault for making his chicken so delicious. Anyway, so that's Waffle House. And, I think it's good. I like it. So there you go. Those are the things that were trending while I was preparing for today's show.
Marconi Bologna.
Well, there it is, another edition of the Bologna Podcast. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like what you hear, make sure if you're on Spreaker to click like, because that lets me know that, hey, you're yay. Or leave a comment about something you heard in the podcast or anything specific that we ask you to talk about. We always love hearing from you. And, like I said, don't forget to click the merch link and check out all the merchandise. We even have sizes that are bigger than that. If you need sizes that are different than XL, I noticed this. District Lines only goes up to XL. I mean, this is America. Come on. Who are we fooling, right? I mean, sure, there are plenty of people that are just XL or less, but there are plenty more people who are, you get what I'm saying. I'm a plus-size model. I know what you're talking. I mean, in my life, I've been there. I understand. So, yes, if you need that, I'm going to post that link soon, too. But link should be in the description on Spreaker. And if you're on iTunes or Stitcher, just go to marconibologna.com. It's really simple to find the merch link there. So thank you both for listening. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Yay!
The Bologna Podcast.